Have you ever heard the phrase burning the candle at both ends? You've heard it, right? We use that phrase to talk about how much we're working. We work late into the night, burning the candle. We wake up early before the sun comes up, burning the candle, and then we start the day of work and the whole cycle begins again. Night, day, burning the candle at both ends. Can you relate to that? Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Nelson, and in this video, I want to talk about something as simple as sleep. Interestingly, I actually call sleep the original strategic stop. We were born to develop more rest and develop more health and well-being by means of sleeping. Remember when we were babies? Well, you probably don't remember it. I don't remember it either, but I'm told we used to sleep all the time. Then as we grew up, little by little, it became less, a little harder. We get to that age as kids and we don't want to go to bed anymore. And then we become adults, and some adults actually use this idea of I can get by with very little sleep as a badge of honor. The problem is that's not the truth. So I want to talk about what sleep is all about. What's the value of sleep? What is optimal sleep? And what are some strategies that we can engage in to have the optimal sleep experience? Are you with me? Okay. First of all, if we're burning the candle on both ends, it turns out that the result is what experts call sleep deprivation. According to research, since the mid-'80s, sleep deprivation has been steadily on the rise, and we're now in our culture at the highest level of sleep deprivation ever. And we're paying a big price for that. When we don't have adequate sleep, there are physical and mental consequences that we pay. Being sleep deprived means that we will be more prone to strokes, more prone to diabetes, more prone to heart attacks and heart problems, more prone to mental health problems such as anxiety and stress, which lead to burnout, and sometimes even more prone to the tendency for suicidal thoughts. We pay a high price for lack of sleep. Here's the flip side of that. When we do get lots of sleep, our physiology and our psychology do what needs to be done every single night when we're in bed. Our brains clean out toxins from that day. We process the day's experience at night, even solve problems creatively when we are sleeping in a deep sleep, better than when we don't have sleep. Chronically tired people, our neurons do not fire optimally. Our organs do not synchronize together optimally. Our muscles are not rested. And little by little, there is a physiological and psychological breakdown. Arianna Huffington, in her book, The Sleep Revolution, in fact, describes the major consequence of sleep deprivation in the workplace. She says that it's estimated that $63 billion a year are being spent by organizations and companies as a direct result of their employee sleep deprivation through absenteeism and or presenteeism. Presenteeism is when you actually show up to work, but you're not firing on all the cylinders. $63 billion. This is not sustainable. It's not sustainable to our financial bottom line in the workplace, and it's not sustainable, definitely, to our own personal, physiological, psychological well-being. What creates all this? Well, as we can imagine, it doesn't take rocket science to see this. We are living in a 24/7 on-demand culture. With technology now, we are constantly connected all the time. In fact, you may find yourself before going to bed the last few minutes looking at your screen, trying to make a connection, whether it's for the work or through news or whatever else it is. We are always on and connected. And that connectedness increases the stress level in our physiology and even in our psychology, so that the stress levels and anxiety levels continue to stay and remain at high levels. We never have downtime. This original strategic stop is crucial to lowering our anxiety and our stress and allowing the body to recover through this profound rest. Health research suggests that the optimal amount of sleep every night is 7 to 9 hours. 7 to 9 hours. Now, I know some of us would say, oh my goodness, man, if I had 6 hours of sleep every night, I'd be thrilled. Yes, and that is part of the problem. 7 to 9 hours optimal sleep time. Which begs the question then as I end, what are some simple strategies that we might do to help maximize our sleep experience? Let me suggest several simple ones that maybe because of their simplicity we don't even think about them and we may certainly not engage in them. Number one, health experts say it is absolutely vital that we develop consistent sleep times. That means that every night, as consistently as possible, with the exception of emergencies and other extenuating circumstances, we go to bed at the same time. In fact, experts are saying we should even carry that sleep consistency pattern into the weekend so that we don't suddenly disrupt our whole patterns on the weekend. A consistent sleep time and schedule. You know, I've discovered in my own experience that has really increased my quality of sleep. In fact, some experts say that it's the hours before midnight that, if you pay attention to them, actually give you the deepest kind of sleep for the rest of the night. I've found that to be true myself. The earlier I put my sleep going to bedtime, the stronger my sleep patterns during the night. At least we should be developing a consistent sleep, because what that does is it begins to tell your brain and your whole body, all right, getting close to that sleep time, it's time to start slowing down, time to calm down. And your body begins to listen to you so that finally, when you do, your brain and body are willing to go to sleep and do the work they are supposed to do. Number one, consistent sleep schedule. Number two, talking to people who experience meditation, mindfulness, and or prayer before bed. I've discovered that these people are saying, you know what, that helps me to control my mind. See, the number one thing that people say about why they don't get good sleep at night is they say, when I go to sleep, I can't turn my mind off. I can't turn my brain off. It's constantly thinking about tomorrow's to-dos or something I did wrong today. I can't stop my brain. And therein lies the significance and the strategic value of engaging in practices that help us control our minds and thoughts. Mindfulness, meditation, prayer. My wife and I actually often use a meditation app when we first get into bed and we begin to slow down. It's amazing that 10-minute, 11-minute, 12-minute meditation you can feel it. We begin to slow down. In fact, most of the time, like actually happened last night, I am asleep about 3 minutes into the meditation app. There's something about being guided through this process that slows the physiology and the psychology down. So number two, meditation, mindfulness, and prayer as practices to slow the mind down. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, like I sometimes do, then those are also valuable to sort of get back into that calming down before that brain just kicks in and says, oh, what about tomorrow? So there we go. Third, obviously, diet and exercise are crucial. In fact, I've discovered that the more exercise I do earlier in the day, the more energy I'm burning out from my system, so that by the time I'm ready to lay down and quiet down, my body is ready to do that. Diet, not drinking close to, especially alcohol, close to bedtime, is helpful in allowing your brain and your body to get into a deeper sleep quicker and through the whole night. How late in the day we eat our food, how close to bedtime we have a meal or any kind of food impacts our ability to have quality sleep experience. So diet and health. And then number four, I would suggest that an hour before bedtime, as many experts do suggest, a technology Sabbath. That is an intentional decision to say, all right, an hour before bedtime, and maybe even an hour after I get up in the morning, I will not have technology open and available to me. There's something about the blue light from the screen on our phones or our computers that keeps the human system activated. We don't want it to be activated. We want it to start slowing down and being prepared. If we're doing social media or writing emails clear up until the time we try to close our eyes to go to sleep, our brains are activated in a way that keeps that connectivity and that desire to be connected to other places and people alive, and that keeps our brains going at high level speeds. We need a technology Sabbath, 1 hour before bed and 1 hour after we get up. I would predict that if we engage specifically in these 4 simple practices and strategies, our sleep experience would be more optimized, would be more maximized. And in the end, that's what I wish for you, and that's what I wish for myself.